Okay, folks, we're going to start the meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to start by saying Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start by approving the minutes from last month. Okay, we reviewed the minutes. Okay. I'd like to make a motion, we approve the minutes from November meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have two people that signed in to want to make public comment. And the first one is Melissa Snyder.
Hi.
Hello.
I think I spoke to you earlier today.
I did, yes.
All right, I just wanted the other supervisors to know what's going on. We had the snowstorm over the weekend. Monday, the snowplows came up. I live at 917 Chapel Road in Hamburg, in Windsor Township. The plow person who was running the plow destroyed the front of my property. I now have a cliff in the front of my yard. My neighbor also has some damage, and half my yard is in her driveway and in the front of her lawn. I have pictures of what it looks like now and what it looked like when I had bought the house. I would like something done about it. You guys want to see the pictures?
Pictures.
Yes, I do. This is how I started my driveway. This was what was in my driveway, all of my yard. There's chunks of grass in it. This is part of front of my house. This is where my yard now starts.
So is it dirt and grass that was moved?
Yes. This is also part of my grass that was in the front is now in my yard up here.
When you say you want something done about, what do you want done?
Well, I want the dirt removed from my front yard and kind of like grade it down to where it belongs. That's what my yard looked like, and there is a ditch here between my yard and the white line.
So the township is not gonna come onto your property and fix it, but, and I'm not saying that they're gonna do this, but you'd have to get an estimate of what it would cost to submit it.
Okay?
You'd have, if someone were gonna come and prepare it, and then they can evaluate whether or not what they're gonna do, but just as a practical matter, they're not gonna, because then if they damage it further, it creates more liability, so they're not gonna come and fix it, you know,
Right.
we can evaluate whether or not it's gonna be compensable to get an estimate of the cost to repair it.
Okay, I can do that. I mean, and I do understand with them plowing, some of my grass is gonna be going, but not that much. That is ridiculous.
How many feet from the white line back?
That it is now,
No, that was hit from the plow or whatever, how many feet from that road?
I can't tell you how many feet it is, but it's pretty much now.
Okay.
Melissa, let me share with the group our conversation today, what we talked about, and my past experience, and not to first of all, apparently Chappelle Road is a state road and not a township road, okay? I grew up in western Pennsylvania, and I will say they were out of control, what I'm about to tell you. Every year, the township came out and took the grader and plopped the blade down and dug a ditch, okay, 3 feet from where there was not white lines painted, but it would have been 3 feet. So my point is, the plow would come along and it drops over, there's no grass to grab a hold of, right? When that email, your voicemail was converted to an email, that was forwarded to me. Today's Wednesday. Tuesday.
I called on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday after coming home from work, I drove by to see what the concern was. I didn't know, right?
Mhm.
And what I noticed there and other places in township, the bank, I didn't see your pictures, but I drove by. The bank goes down like this, and the white line, if there is a white line there? I don't remember. Is a white line on
There's
that
a
road?
white line there,
Okay.
but my
And it
grass
comes-
does not
it comes-
need it.
It comes right to it, right?
No, my grass does not come to the white line.
Okay, so how far over was he then, would you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you the picture of where my grass was.
So I guess what I'm saying to you is to be, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be,
That was my line. That was the ditch, and there's my yard.
well, that was taken last summer or something. That wasn't recent picture.
That's what my yard has been looking like the last
Okay.
5 years.
Okay.
So that is what it looks like now. This is my neighbor's driveway. So my yard's in her driveway and her front yard. I had to park over here in her second driveway.
We do that, we're contracted.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say. I'm just talking,
You see the rest of them? That's what was in my driveway. I had to shovel all that. And that's where my yard is now. And the white line's over here. So that's pretty far. And I don't need a ledge.
right.
I
No,
want
no,
that
I understand,
fixed.
no, I understand your concern. But also from a legal standpoint, that, there's a right of way there, right?
There is a right of way. and that's what-
Okay,
that's
so
what-
how's that handled?
Well, I think if it's within the right of way, technically, we may have damaged our, what is really our own property,
Mhm.
assuming that we damaged it. So I think you have to measure from, but it's from the center of the road, correct?
Yeah, it's from the center of the road, the right of way. Chappelle Road should be 33 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so the township act, or not the
State.
township, the state actually owns, you go to the middle of the road and measure 33 feet over,
Mhm.
which will probably be, I would imagine, 5 or 6 feet into what looks like your front yard, is actually owned by the state. It's called a right of way that is maintained for maintenance purposes. So it's very possible that what was damaged is actually owned by the state, so not owned by you.
Okay? But the township is the one that did the damage, not the state.
Well, the township is contracted by the state, because it's the state's responsibility to plow those roads, but the state does not have plows here in Windsor Township, so they hire the township to act on their behalf and plow.
I already talked to our state representative today. Told me that the township is responsible because you guys are the ones that plowed it.
And what I'm telling you is that,
So come out and measure it. Come out and measure it from the lines where you need to
No,
measure it
no,
to
I
find
understand,
out
I
what it
understand, but
is.
here's what I'm getting at, okay? And Ben, I'm not saying what we should do or should not do, okay? I'm just
You
saying.
make the decision.
What I'm saying here is, the other option we have is to go get the grader out and clean these ditches completely out. And you will lose 3 or 4 feet of yard that you're mowing now, and it will be an empty, weedy ditch. That's not happening here versus what I'm used to in my past, is what I'm referring to. So, my point is, the soil's here, the road is here, it's scratched along. And there's other places in the township that happened too in this last snow event. So I'm not saying no to your request, what I'm saying to you is, there's a trade-off both ways here. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know what we wanna do, right? We.
Okay.
That's all I'm pointing out.
right, and I think that for you to consider it, you need an estimate of what it would cost to repair, and then we have to make a determination, is it worth submitting to an insurance company? Probably not, because the deductible is probably high enough that it wouldn't make any sense. But we can't, without knowing what it costs, you can't make a decision.
I think we need to look into the state right-of-ways because they change all the time. And they just changed them because of the 61 projects and made already goes a lot further. So if it's a state right of way and it's in the state right of way, I mean, that's,
Yeah, that's what.
I think that needs to be looked at, because just the other day I had a call because Old 22 used to be 80 and now in some spots it's 120.
Yeah, so I mean, we'd have to look at the right of way, and then I guess it would be appropriate for the road master to measure, you know, to determine where that boundary line actually is.
I would say we need to look into this further.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good to me, yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Carolyn.
Hi. I'm just here to find out about the grant that was submitted for the playground in Edinburgh, if that was ever approved or not.
As far as I know, it has not been decided on.
Okay.
The township, for some reason, turned it over to the engineering firm to take care of it, and the engineering firm has not reported back that any funds were granted.
Okay. Then my other concern is, the benches that were moved down to the playground are wooden benches, which will rot and become a liability for the playground.
They were just moved there?
I don't know when they were moved there,
2
but.
years ago.
What's that?
2 years ago. they were
Yeah,
moved
and
there.
I just feel like that's a liability for kids who want to sit on those benches. So I feel like we should,
We'll remove them.
if,
Because we were asked to have more areas there to sit down for families and stuff, because when they come, so those benches were donated to the township, so that's why we put them there.
you know,
But we could remove them.
well, and what can you replace them with? Because,
Nothing. Those were donated, that's why they got put there, because,
so then
because
if
different
we
families.
get the grant, then could we use some of that money for?
No, because that is earmarked for what they had put on the list already.
And what was on the list?
You gotta talk to our engineer. They made up the list, and that engineer's not here tonight.
Oh,
We are in the dark on that.
okay. And because
They
I'm also
came-
concerned about the mulch levels at that park, because, I mean, I was on the rec board for many, many years,
Mhm.
and I was there when that whole park thing was built. And I know there has to be so many inches of mulch,
Yes.
or it's not usable, and there's constantly weeds and everything in that area.
You are correct. That should have a yellow or an orange fence around it and not being used, because it does not meet the requirements.
So was the town, we can't do anything about that?
That was addressed supposedly in with that grant. But
Okay.
since we have no idea what's going on with it, I know the engineer came, had said they're applying for a $30,000 grant. She said something about mulch, painting of the building, and gutter on the building. And that was all I know.
Yeah.
That was all that was reported. Have no idea where the grant is at since that.
Yeah.
But like I said, there was families that said about benches, and one of them said about, I know where there's some at, can we donate them to the township? They donated them, so we put them there. Because they said they come with a little one, and they have bags and stuff for diaper bags and
Right,
stuff.
right.
To set them there instead of setting it in the mulch. But
Well, I know.
if we can remove them, that is fine, we can
Well,
remove
my
them.
just concern
What's
is, what's gonna happen if someone gets injured
What's that?
from that, then who's liable for that?
Yeah,
That's my concern.
Yes.
Okay,
Your concern is legitimate. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things that have been neglected and looked the other way for many years that we have to fix next year, starting
yeah.
next year.
And when we get, I don't know how many rental properties how many times it's been rented this past year, but I feel like that money should all go back into,
Well, so just so you,
Things
from
going
a
into-
financial
into-
standpoint, we are so upside down on what we collect for rent even to maintain that park.
yeah,
So it's really coming out of the taxpayers' funds across the township to do that park,
yeah.
all right?
So the rental money goes where, into the general fund?
No, it goes in, it stays in the parks fund, but what I'm telling you is, if we take in 5,000 a year, I don't have the numbers in front of me, we're spending 20 there a year.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. And we are increasing it a little bit this year, but apparently that's against the will of the people, because they want a low-cost public place to go.
Yeah,
So it's being subsidized substantially.
yeah.
You're following what I'm saying? And the weeds are out of control this year, and I had the company come out and spray, and they did not put enough product down, and they were back twice to control the thistles in there. But you're right, that it needs to be mulched, and so we didn't do anything to mulch. Ben took a soil sample this summer, I asked him to, because the grass looks poor, and it's low in lime. He put lime on, correct? You put the lime on?
No, because we never got the leaves up, because we don't have trucks to haul the leaves away.
Okay, so the plan is to get the grass to be replaced, right? To start the process of
Yeah.
improving everything is the plan.
Because I know I was involved in many years ago when I was on the rec board, that we got a grant to do all that stuff. And I just hate to see it go into pot, because that's pretty much where it's headed,
Amen.
you know? So,
No, good point.
you know, and I've seen lots of people there, and, I mean, I don't even like taking my grandchildren up there, you know, when they come to my house.
Mhm.
It's just not, you know,
It's on the.
it's not what it should
It's-
be.
I agree, it's on the to-do list, okay?
All right. Okay,
All right, thank you.
yeah.
Does anybody else have any comments to make at this time? Okay. Next, Craig, you want to give a financial status report?
You know, very quickly, if you have a handout, in your handout would be 2 sheets. One of them would be, the first one would be the income. And again, just to, since it's just about the end of the year, on the bottom of the first page where it has total revenue or income, of course, the column on the left is the total of both the general and the state fund. And the total income was a little bit over $1 million in both accounts. Of course, the greater majority of that, 853,000 some, was the general fund. If we then look on the second sheet, and close to the bottom, it'll show then the expenditures total in all accounts and the expenditures in the general and the state fund. So you can see that the income is considered, you know, quite a bit above the expenditures this year, because in our state fund, we didn't have any large expenditures, as opposed to many years. The very bottom of that page shows where we stand as far as in all our accounts, basically as of this evening. We still have some expenses till the end of these last 2 weeks, but this would be fairly close as to what we have. You notice the general fund, the savings, Pliget, and the park, that's the general fund, 642,000 some plus 4,000 some for the general fund for the park. State Liquid Fuels Fund, 231,000 some. Right now, we have in our checking account a balance of around $91,000 and $100 in the state fund. Now, we still have some income in the last 2 weeks of the year and some expenses, but these numbers would be fairly close to where we are.
Right. I do want to add this, to put this in perspective, and this is what I emailed you about, that we all need to be aware of. In that general fund, we have some liabilities that are planned for the coming year. So we committed to funding a fire truck for the fire company, and that first year, which is 2025, that's 18,000. For 26, I believe it's $20,000. It steps up over the course of time. And there's a new plow truck on order that should be here probably after the snow all melts for $240,000. And there's $43,000 in that account for that we received as a, what's the correct term, Russell? For escrow for the self-storage unit. And I don't know if there's anything else, but that totals up to $321,000. That's going to be coming. That's a liability against that account. So the funds aren't as, those are commitments that we have. The 43,000 will go back, the truck will be set in the shop, and the fire, and the other money's reserved for the fire truck. So just, so we all have perspective on that. Anything else? Any questions? Okay. Next, we're gonna move on to the engineer, zoning officer, and code enforcement.
Yes, I have a couple things. I went out there to the self-storage facility, and I report, there's a lot of issues going on with the mud on the road. You know, they're not shaking off the trucks. I don't know what's going on, but they're also dumping behind Whirlies there. So I reported to the Conservation District, and they said, Conservation District basically told me they don't have enough manpower to deal with it. So I sent it to DEP and the Fish and Game Commission, and they got back, and they're gonna be sending people out to look because they're dumping right near the Schuylkill River. So, on that issue, on that note, and then, on the issue, on Route 143 we were dealing with for a long time, with that property. Lewis has pictures and, a video of everything that the complaints were received about that home, and he's submitting a formal notice to me that I'm gonna send to you guys, just so you're aware that that property is functioning and there's no reason for condemnation of that property.
Let me add to the good of the cause here. I received an unsolicited photograph of the dumpster being removed,
Yeah,
meaning there's no trash disposal there now. So that was sent to me, and I never responded to it. So
Okay.
I'm just sharing that with you so you have that.
yeah, and we said about keeping the property up to date, or they will receive, more notices. And then, pretty much just then building permits for this month, and not much going on zoning wise, besides what we were needing for planning and whatnot.
Okay. That's it?
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
for the engineer though, I do have, were you gonna, for the land,
I was just gonna.
Russell will take care of that.
Okay. So it's been requested in the past because the community doesn't know what's going on, and I think it's relevant to share this. And Russell and I had a conversation about this the other day. The applicant for this self-storage unit got approval from the Planning Commission in 2024. The board here did not take any action on approving it. So I think it's 90 days, correct? They sought a permit from SDE, and SDE gave a permit. So somewhere from January until a few months ago, they started construction. The engineer at SDE is not happy with what took place, and there was a meeting called on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And there was lots of emails, and only until Friday I received any report of what was going on there. And one of the things that SDE decided to do is to plant an on-site observer there at all hours construction's going on at $110 an hour. Of course, the township got billed for this, and the process is the township turns around and bills the applicant at the self-storage unit for those fees. So earlier in the week, I heard through the grapevine that no one, the township never has requested an on-site observer for any other project going on. So they're being singled out, and they're not gonna pay that bill, and they're gonna pursue this. So I reached out to Russell and says, we're not gonna be on the hook to pay for this, for something, and what really upsets me is, it's been a hard understanding for a number of years, and there's a lot of hard feelings in this room, but the professionals we hire think they run the township. They're here to serve the people, the board and the people. So I did not know that SDE planted an on-site observer there. Now there's other little cat fights going on about this too there, which I'm leaving out of this, all right? So what I'm suggesting, Craig, is we take that $3,347 off the invoice for that charge until they get that resolved.
What's the amount?
$3,347.92. So I would suggest you remove that from the check and pay them for their other services until we get this rectified.
Can I?
Jeff, it's your turn.
Okay. So, after we spoke, as I told you, I spoke to Pamela, who's the township engineer, and I also called the attorney for the applicant, because I figured might as well get it from the horse's mouth, find out what their intention was. So, what the applicant's attorney told me is that they are considering whether or not they would contest the charges. And if it was, a small amount, a couple $1,000s, probably not, but if we're talking about, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, then there's a higher chance that they would contest those charges. I don't know this, but if it's $3,000, my guess is they probably won't.
Well, that's as of the end of November.
Right.
So we're, the 17th now, so we
Yeah.
haven't seen the bill from
Right.
the 1st to the 17th yet.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, and as we discussed, I think that the prudent thing for the township is to withhold those fees until
Okay.
we can get this resolved. I did also speak with Pamela. She told me that it was not, that they do not have someone stationed there, 40 hours a week. The gentleman that in question, she said is a Mennonite, likely doesn't have games on his phone, so probably wasn't sitting in his car.
I don't know that.
I'm just
I'm
relaying.
not taking sides.
Yeah,
All I see is an invoice.
Right.
Right.
Now, she agreed. She told me that he's not assigned there to sit there 40 hours a week. I do know that now they have a schedule. There are certain things that they do have to be there for. I think I'm looking at Ryan. I think the stormwater.
Yeah, there are certain things they have to be there for, but it's stormwater and grading, some of that grading
Right.
as well. So,
And I'm not against what you're saying. They're dumping dirt in the river or creek or what, that's a different topic. But going rogue and doing this, there was 2.5 weeks, there was an opportunity to reach out and say, hey, I think we should do that. It never happened. Just went and did it on our own, okay? That's the part that's not right.
what you're saying is they should have brought you in and told you that this is what we're looking at doing. What is your opinion on that?
Right.
Should
We
we
never- and the
should we move forward with
And the
that?
problem is, we've never done that before. That's the issue.
From an engineering perspective, yeah,
That's what the claim is, and
Yeah.
I don't do that zoning and building wise.
Okay.
I go for inspections only
Mhm.
when I'm called.
well, that's my concern. So your recommendation is, as a solicitor, is to withhold those dollars?
Yes, because if there's a concern, and because I know that it's being considered by the applicant whether they're going to oppose that, and they said they can't make that decision until they get the invoice. So I think what you have to do is you have to bill them for it, and let them.
And have you billed them for that yet?
Maybe some of it's sitting out,
Yeah, but they can't, make that assessment, and they're probably not gonna make that assessment until the project is complete, would be my suspicion.
So when's it due?
Well, this was sent out.
You say due on the 4th.
Right, that's when it was sent out, that was when it was mailed. And that's
When was it?
Is this the amount you're talking about?
Yes. Yes, that's the amount. So you billed them on, System Design billed us on 11/30, of course, and you mailed this on December 4th.
Right.
So what terms you put on the invoice?
Well, you mean when it would?
When it's due,
Well, it would be due, it would be actually due on that, it's due on that day.
due upon receipt.
Right,
And today's the 17th and we haven't been paid.
right. This is the amount, right?
That is the amount, yes.
So I do think that withholding that amount from the engineer's invoice, that way you're not, if they're successful, you're not trying to chase the dollars back from SDE.
Mhm. So what's the step to have a conversation, Ryan, about this process here?
With the engineering,
Yes.
we should have a meeting,
Will you take care of that then?
set up a meeting with, yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be stuck with this if this goes on, and
I understand. I can absolutely set up a meeting. I'll send you an email this week.
okay. Anything else on your list?
No, unless you, because you're gonna handle the land.
I have something here.
Yes.
They're not only just dumping at Worley's, majority of them are going over to Martin's property. And they have Woodland all mudded up, Dunn all mudded up too, from the trucks going back and forth.
Yeah.
So-
I reported it to PennDOT. And PennDOT was, they got furious about it. And
Well,
then-
there's a Kubota down there with a sweeper on making it slicker than it was before.
See, I think they actually need a real street cleaner, like a real street cleaning machine. Yeah, that brush is for construction,
Chunks.
you know, when you're doing concrete work and stuff of that nature. So I think they actually need a street cleaner. And I just think it was, I was taken back when I said that usually the conservation district's all over it. But she literally told me, I sent her the picture, and she said, I'm not having, there's no manpower right now.
So it might be, I just want to jump for a moment to the improvements agreement, because the applicants already signed this agreement. I have seven signed copies here this evening. One of their obligations under this agreement is to make provisions for to be responsible for moving mud and debris from vehicles and equipment leaving the construction site. So they have an obligation here, and if they don't do it, they have 24 hours from a verbal notice from a township official. So now this has not been signed yet, but if you sign it tonight and
So
approve
if
it,
we assign it tonight and approve it, tomorrow, what happens?
well, we're gonna record this, and then what can happen is that Ryan can give them verbal notification that they have 24 hours to clean the streets.
Why don't I give verbal and written?
I understand,
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
I would agree that you should do that. I'm just saying that the agreement only requires verbal.
Understandable. I'll give verbal and written notice.
But then they have to clean it.
Okay.
This is standard.
No, I
standard,
understand,
yeah.
I'm just saying, is, what's the next steps to address the issue,
Right.
not kick it to next month meeting?
No,
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna-
why I wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
this will need to get taken care of. Especially because it's a major issue, someone gets.
Right, no, I get it, I drove up there, I told you the other night.
Yes,
And it
those
was all-
trucks are going up and down my road all day long, back
Yeah.
and forth. They go up Chapel,
It-
turn down Donnie, and go down Woodland.
They had a skid loader there with a broom on the front, and it was smearing, they were picking up chunks maybe, but it was smearing the road nice and greasy.
And they were told about this when we had that meeting in the Tuesday before
Mhm.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was very clear, it was a very rainy day,
Mhm.
but Pamela told them that this was an issue that they needed to address, and they still haven't addressed it.
And if we live in a rural area and there's dirt on the roads, that's not the issue, but my concern is someone headed south 261, that's a long stop there on a greasy road there.
Thursday's
And then-
it's supposed to rain
Yeah.
all Thursday, Friday, so.
Yeah, and there's not great sight.
All right,
Site distance
all right,
there.
we'll,
Get that done, then I can give the verbal and written.
okay.
Yeah.
And what else on this topic?
I mean, I do have the improvements agreement.
That's the one you sent,
That's the one that was sent,
okay.
So, really, I mean, I have copies here, but it's the one that was sent out. I would need a motion to approve it, and then
We can sign it.
you can sign it, Jerry.
All right. I'll make the motion and we approve the maintenance agreement for the self-storage unit on Route 61. Do I have a second?
I second that. That's item number 3 on the new business.
Yes.
Yes. All in favor? Aye. Okay, ayes have it. So we'll sign at the end of the meeting.
Yes.
Next on the list, we have the fire service report. You have anything to say? Come front and center, okay? Don't hide back there, okay?
I don't have anything to say.
Oh, okay. Is the truck being built?
Not yet.
Is it,
They're saying in June of 2027.
okay. Didn't it get pushed back or moved up?
No.
Okay. All right. Next up is Mr. Roadmaster Ben.
Well, last month we cleaned up some trees due to the high winds. That's pretty much all we got done, except for try to get what trucks we had to get ready for the snow. But truck 6 is finally in the garage, so they're waiting for parts. The other day, the Freightliner went down with seized up front brakes, so that's down at Berman. Parts came in on Friday, but the wrong parts were in the crate, so now we're another week and a half out till hopefully the right parts come in the crate and stuff. So that's down. And then when I came back on Tuesday from being away, I found out that the International is now down also. So we have no spreader trucks as of now. The only plow truck we have is the plow from the pickup truck. So I hope it dumps snow because the roads are not going to get cleared. So I kept telling you years and years and years since I've been here, we got to upgrade the equipment, do maintenance on the stuff, and I kept getting told no. So now we are down to a pickup truck to clear our roads. So we have 43 miles of roads. How long is it going to take for a pickup truck to drive around the township to plow the roads? So, because we can't spread new material. I'm glad it's warming up because Tuesday morning there was a lot of icy spots that didn't get cleaned off and stuff. I'm glad it's warming up because they're finally melting off. The International, I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I think they knocked the front end out of it again because from what I heard through the grapevine, they were driving around all morning in four-wheel drive for no reason. And now it clunks and carries on like when the front end went out in spring. So we spent $32,000 on that truck in spring. Probably got to spend it again. And who knows when, since that took 4 months in spring, we won't have that truck probably back the rest of this year, unless it's something else.
You have any suggestions, Craig?
Whatever he went to look at a vehicle.
So today I drove up to Bangor, PA, not Maine. I looked at a used truck they have on Municipid. It's an 04 International. We have an 05 International. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's a little bit smaller plow, but other than that, it's the same exact thing as what we have, except for the color of the truck. Has the same spreader on the back, same hydraulic hookups. It's even the same make of plow. If we need to, we can put our plows onto it and stuff. Same controllers for the spreader and stuff. Don't know if you want to buy it or not. They replaced their front end in 2022. Then they had some other work. It has more rust on the frame than our truck does. They're not sure how many miles are on it because that system, the wiring harness took a crap on them and they just got it on, so they're not sure exactly how many miles, but it has 2,600 hours on. Our truck has 2,200 hours on and 26,000 miles. So for a couple hundred extra hours, it's still under 50,000 miles. Not for that truck. So right now the bid's up to 20,000 on it. The auction ends on Saturday at 10 a.m. So if you want, we can bid on it. Not guaranteed we're going to get it, but At least then we have something. Because if not, we
What's
can
everybody
go,
looking at me for?
if not, we can go and drag a groundhog out and see if it sees its shadow or not early. But we haven't even hit winter yet, and we had 9 inches of snow. So,
So I called the repair garage today, and on the 550 Ford, which does have a salt spreader for it, right?
yeah. And that's just an overgrown pickup truck.
Okay. And I believe the parts are going to be in this week, and they're gonna put together at least by the first part of next week, because it's in the shop, the cab's off of it, so it's tying up their space, so they're not gonna walk away from it, is what I'm saying.
So that'll give us a little hand spreader
Right,
to throw out stuff.
okay. Did you call them about the international truck?
No, I did not, because I didn't get it out and wash it off yet. And is that where it's going? Because I do have a question for Russell about that. I want your opinion on this, Russell. If a resident of the township goes to our site where we get our trucks worked on and starts asking them why our trucks aren't getting worked on in a timely manner, is that harassment or not?
How many times are they asking?
I know at least once.
Once, probably not.
So,
'Cause
but is it right for a resident to go to where we take our trucks to get worked on, to bug them and ask them why our trucks aren't getting done?
no, it's not right.
So,
But
so,
you can't stop them from going there.
so, because I was told a resident went over, and now he's considering not even working on our trucks. Because he's like, why am I a resident coming to a workplace to get, it's in the list, you gotta get on the schedule and stuff. It might not be the fastest schedule and stuff. So, to me, I think we almost have to find a whole new place. I brought it up last year. There was complaints about cost over there. I said, find you another place. Crickets, nothing. So we stuck with them. But to me, that is stupid for a resident to go over there and stuff. They have no right to go over there and try to, get our work through sooner and stuff. So to me, I think we gotta find another place. So I hope that resident has another place in mind for us to go to and stuff.
Do you know who the resident is?
Yes, I do.
I'm
But
not asking to say in public meeting.
because right after that person left, I got a call. Because I had calls before that and stuff, which he didn't get pissed off. He knows why he was there. But Jerry was there because of supervisor. He was checking up on the work
It's different.
and stuff. That's what he said. He said, but he does not understand why a resident has to come. So,
Agreed.
so
I don't think it's.
I guess we gotta find somebody else to do our work. So I don't even know. That truck has to get towed to wherever it goes.
So let's talk about, let's talk about this other truck that you saw that's being auctioned off, okay? And I'm not saying no, this is my concern.
It don't matter if you say
And
yes or no.
I'm willing
It
for
don't
anybody
matter.
in the room to tell me if I'm agree or disagree. We have a truck that's a 2005, a truck that's a 2008, a truck that's a 2012, and a 2016. They're old, they have low use on them for what most trucks would be considered. Yes, it's hard to plow snow. My only concern is, do we wanna go buy another old truck? I mean, you know, why is that truck better than what we have?
It's not.
That's all I'm saying.
We don't know if it's any better. We can have it, but right now, we have nothing in the shed.
I understand.
It's a Band-Aid, Jerry, to try to limp you through the season until you can.
I know, but what I'm saying to you is if we could have it out the first day and it breaks down, major repair, and we're out of the truck again. That's all I'm getting at.
You're right.
It's flip a coin. Look at, we have trucks and they're broke down.
No,
Does that
you understand
and
my
we know
point.
what we have.
I'm not saying
Is
no,
that-
I'm just saying, is
Yeah.
that what we wanna do?
Sometimes you don't have a choice.
It don't matter if you say yes or no. It don't matter to me. Either I turn on this and I put on that we bid, that I log in and bid for the township, or I don't.
Okay, so let's say we decide to bid and whatever it takes, we buy it. Okay, let's just go down that.
Well, no, you set an amount.
Oh, okay, well, whatever.
It's
Let's
an
say,
it's an open
Okay.
auction like anything else. You
So
say,
the
you say
auction-
25,000, I put in max bid 25,000. If it goes 20,001, we don't have it.
okay, let's say we
So-
win the bid on
Yeah.
Saturday. When can we actually get the truck licensed and put on the road?
Monday,
We can have the truck running on Monday?
yes.
Well,
As long as there's a check, as long as there's a check cut and stuff for the amount, we can get it Monday.
you gotta do tags and title.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a notary up there. And also, well, it's a 9% fee for municipal too.
And there's no guarantees.
No. Nope. Because right now, if you do get it, I'm gonna say probably 3,000 to 5,000 you're gonna need before the end of the season for the plow. Because the cutting edge is half cut down and the skid shoes are worn out. So
And what shape's the tires on it?
they're 3 years old.
No, but how much rubber's left on them?
They're almost new. So,
Okay.
because the turbo was replaced, what did he say, I think he said it was 18. Front end was all completely rebuilt in 22, which we just had ours done in spring, and of course they probably knocked it back out, maybe not, maybe it's something else, but there's no guarantee on the truck, so. I'm looking at something just to get us through the winter. Because once, in next August, you can put it right on municipal bid and resell it. So,
Russell, from a legal standpoint, do we need to approve funds for such a thing, or can we?
You should authorize a bid up to a certain amount. You should entertain a motion.
And it has to be done right this minute? In a public meeting
Well, it should be done in
forum?
a public meeting, yeah.
well, you can think about it. I'll go on to the next thing. So, oh, and the rest of the winter, I won't be here for the snowstorms unless it's more than 12. The day of and the day after. I have comp hours to use up, and I'm going to use them up on the snow days.
So why are
Since
buying
we don't
a
have no equipment, I don't need to be
So
here.
we don't need to buy a truck then?
So, I don't care about if the residents can get through. So, the school will be calling you. So, because I have comp time to use up since I've been accruing that because of not getting the overtime. I have comp time, so I have my time in. I'm gonna get paid for it now and stuff. So, and you can tell I wasn't here over the weekend because of all the mess that's been around. So, and there too, I said before I needed more plow drivers and stuff, and well,
You don't have to worry about your grass anymore. okay?
I hit the wall. I am not gonna be here. So I can talk to them blue in the face, and you know what? I'm tired of talking. So I said about the equipment, I said about employees. So now here you go. Have fun. So it's up to the supervisors now.
Are either the supervisors CDL drivers?
As long as it's snowing, we don't need a CDL as a township. Anybody can hop in behind the wheel. It almost seemed that way with all the grass that's tore up, because I love that she was here and said about the grass, because even at my place, they're 14 to 16 inches past the white line. I don't know how they didn't wipe out my mailbox. My fence is 7 foot off the road. I have dirt hanging on top of my picket fence and on the inside of it. And that's on a straight stretch with a barnyard wall there. They almost hit the barnyard wall. But yet there's 2 foot of snow on the lane on the other side. I don't know how. You can see the mailbox on one side. It wasn't that bad of snow, but yet there's so many spots all over the place from the grass being drug up. I was told, I guess she's probably not here, on Fox Lane, they have snow sticks a foot off the road. The snow sticks are gone because they were over a foot off the road. Now, the snow sticks were there to keep them on the road. Some of our snow sticks are down, and those are 2 foot off the road because the truck driver was that far over. I don't know which driver it was because I wasn't here and they were all over the place. But we put the snow sticks up for a reason, not to be driving on the wrong side of them. But when you go out, 6 hours after it stops snowing and stuff, I guess it's hard to see her, I guess. So now I gave more time to think, so.
You have anything else?
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay. Do we have a park report?
Been finished since the last meeting, nothing or more that Laura and I have done recently, so I just turned in my last sheet last month for the rest of the work we did for the year, so that's it.
Okay, thank you. Russell, you're up next.
So we talked about ideal storage. I want to talk about Kaufman Roush. So Ryan and I received an email late this afternoon from the attorney for Kaufman Roush. Now, I did get a phone call last week from Attorney Cole. And I think part of the reason for the call was my understanding was that you were over at the property, Jerry.
Yes, I was driving by, and there's a tenant on the property that is unaware of the situation.
So part of the emails are...
And what's wrong with that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay, well, you brought it up, I didn't know why.
Because there's...
Okay, that's fine.
Because it's context for
Okay.
for what I...
Did she send that email late today?
3:37.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't actually read it till after 5 o'clock.
I didn't see it yet.
And so what she's indicating here is that this is long fence, which as I understand is not related to Craig or his family. That they store property, barriers or traffic control signs, and it's related to Furnace Stream Farms, which is the business operations on the property. They're alleging that would not constitute a second separate use under zoning law and would not require a zoning permit. I'll let Ryan, address this with her once he has a chance to review this.
Well, I'm sorry, back up here.
Yeah.
You lost me in this process.
I'm just going through.
You made it clear they're not related, then you're saying they're related? What, you lost me there.
Long fence is not
Correct,
related.
I understand that.
Yeah, but
And then
then
you went on this,
Furnace Stream Farms is owned by, is it David and Jameson Kaufman?
David and Doris.
David and Doris. So Furnace Stream Farms is related,
Okay.
Long Fence is not related.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And then they've also reported that they have made a lot of progress in removing items from the R2 district, but they're not going to be able to get it all done by the 31st because of snow and weather and
And you have
whatnot.
photographs of what was it before?
Yeah, I'm taking, yeah.
Before, you had before photographs?
I have before photographs
Okay.
of what was going on, yeah, yeah.
And they are continuing, like they said in here, that they're continuing to remove items, and that they're gonna continue to provide updates to the township. So I'm just reporting this to you. I'll forward the email to the supervisors. So I just wanted, I wanted to keep you up to date on what's going on.
So she's saying the sign, the place that has the sign and the guardrails is part of the overall business? Just so
Yeah.
just so I get an understanding.
Yeah, I don't understand
under-
what,
I'm
I
not-
don't
I'm
understand
not-
what that point means there.
Yeah, I'm not 100%, Ryan, I'm happy for you if you wanna read this. It's kind of long and convoluted, and, I think it's their property, it's Long Fence's property, but a lot of it is used in Furnace Stream Farms.
Oh, yeah, that's what she's saying right there.
Yeah,
So the signs and guardrail is used, for FSF, is that what the?
Furnace Stream Farms.
Furnace Stream Farms, and they're just contracted, and that's just, so, it's all part of, she's saying Long Fence, and it's all part of the same thing. They use them at their job sites for the installation process. So, in my letter, I wrote that it was a second use.
So let's go back to the conditional use hearing, okay,
Yes.
Russell? There was testimony presented that there was lease agreements with these different entities,
agreed.
okay? So that doesn't align, does it?
It does not align.
Okay,
Doesn't push it past the fact that it would still need a zoning permit
exactly.
to operate, so it has to cease operation anyway, unless they were to come through us formally with zoning permits.
Which they're willing to do. She says they're willing to do it. She's saying she doesn't think that they need to do it, but they're willing to do it.
So then, I still think on that 31st, I do an on-site inspection and then give a progress report, and then we go from that point. The next meeting,
Mhm.
we discuss the progress from the 31st.
Right, and we have reorg and business meeting on the 5th,
Yeah, January 5th.
January 5th,
Yeah.
so.
So I will do my inspection on the 31st, and we will have a meeting on the 5th.
Right. I don't have anything else.
Okay.
I just wanted to update you.
Does anybody in the group have anything to add? No one's raising their hands. Under old business, it's been on here for several months, there will be job descriptions for January. Professional service and supervisor duties will be explained on January 5th. Item number 3 is Route 61 driveway sidewalk agreements and ordinance modification. That was, I thought, permanently tabled at the last meeting.
It was tabled, not necessarily permanently, but it was tabled.
My understanding is that you weren't going to proceed
Yeah.
with it, so I
So-
don't know that it needs to stay on the agenda.
Okay, so they should come off, because I believe we're not taking any action on that.
I think it can come on.
Okay. Moving into the section of new business, the first thing on the list is budget approval, A through G. Do you want to speak to that, Greg?
Yeah, we advertised and tentatively approved budget at our last board meeting.
Is that in the packet here?
No, this is more of it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is what we had, so the estimated income for next year in all accounts, $947,700. The estimated expenditures in all accounts, $943,900. Those are the numbers that we approved
Sure.
tentatively.
So just so I go back to what I said earlier, we have a cash reserve of $350,000, and of that, $321,000 needs to come out of that for commitments.
Right, if it's necessary,
Well, the fire truck, we have to fund,
right?
the new truck that's being bought for
Right.
$240,000. And that $43,000 for ideal storage is in that fund, but that goes back when that project's complete.
Right.
Are any of those items contemplated in the expenses in the budget? Is the,
No, not at this point.
So that leaves us a cash reserve of $29,000.
We have, well, if we look at expenditures, the expenditures in the state fund, $250,000, total $410,000. So some of that would definitely fall in there.
Okay.
so some of the truck can be paid for from the state fund, correct?
Right, 20%. So, you know, much of that truck cost would be taken care of, you know, from what.
Only 20% now. You say much, but
Right,
20%.
Right.
Okay.
So those are the numbers that we tentatively approved. at-
That's right, that's right. I just want to put in perspective, that's all,
Right,
that's
okay.
all.
So what I'll do then is, you know, when we do the minutes, I'll put those numbers in there for overall revenues and overall expenditures. And of course, line item C, the present millage rate for the township for 25 was 0.6 mils, and that would be retained for 26. We don't have, or we don't collect an amusement tax, but it's been recommended for years that we keep it on the books in case someone comes in and we have that.
Okay.
So that's why that 10% amusement tax is there. Of course, the total earned income tax is 1%, and the township gets 0.5%. The school district, the other half.
Mhm.
Same thing with the real estate transfer tax.
It's
And-
half and half.
Yeah, each is a half. But as far as the total budget, you know, as to the residents of the township, what percentages would be taxed, that's why that's there. And then, of course, the $350,000 for the general fund reserve.
Mhm. Okay.
By the 26th of this month, a form has to be returned to the county indicating what our millage rate would be. And of course, it's being retained at 0.6.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve the budget.
Correct.
I'll make the motion to approve the budget with numbers just presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Anything else on that topic?
No.
Okay, moving on, Blue Heron Village Plan.
Okay. For those who don't know, I'm Rob Hain from Berks Surveying and Engineering. Prepared the plans for Blue Heron Estates. Would you like to look at the current plans, or do you want to look at the previous plans? I know there was some back and
So
forth.
we had some communication today,
Yes.
and one of the things that concerns me here overall is this thing's been kicked around for many, many years, and it always changes and varies from time to time from my observation. And we want to be transparent, honest, and clean the thing up, right? the plans you sent to me today were dated August of 21, 4.5 years ago.
That's the original date, and it was finished in 23, the last.
Okay, okay. So, one of the things I noticed, looking at the plans and looking at Google Earth, there's additional, at least one. I didn't have time to study this today, but there was at least one house added that's not, that you have on that plan today you sent me. It says proposed building site, and there's a house on Google Earth there.
Oh, so there was at least one house built.
At least, I
Okay.
didn't have time to look
From
at
the,
all.
yes, I believe
So what I'm saying, that plan's not accurate, because it says proposed house, but there's one there. And I didn't have time to look at all the other ones. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, we gotta have this stuff being presented accurately. And so in a year from now, if the applicant comes in and wants something different, then it wasn't approved the first time right. Is that correct, Russell?
It should-
Does it matter, or, you know?
So technically, they would, need to submit an as-built plan once it's built, but they're not really building anything so much as establishing lot lines. And I share your concern. There have been so many different changes, and I think, we can't forget that we have a conditional use decision that was entered that needs to be complied with. But I think that if the plan is not accurate, I think it would be better for the plan to be updated.
And like I said, I didn't
to-
study it, so I don't know how many houses were built since that plan.
So it's catching off guard. I'm not sure what you're referring to. The plan that,
Well,
the
so
older
here,
plan would
I made
have,
a note here, I'll tell you.
Was it-
Lot
was it an existing
15,
house?
lot 15, that's the house you can clearly see in the north side of the lake.
yeah, that one's,
That was
what's the
built
question?
since, that
Since the
was,
original,
well, the plan that was sent to me that was supposed to be updated plan, it was dated 21, was it not?
Well, that's not an updated plan. That's the previous plan that was recorded that showed all, that was when those lots were created. It was approved in 2023, and that house was built on one of those lots. We didn't do, as part of the new plan, it was supposed to address all the other lots that weren't included in
Okay.
that previous plan.
So let me ask you this. Has there been any homes built on that site, that whole property? Anywhere on that property, has any homes been built in the year 2025?
yeah, the one that you're talking about. And that was
Well,
on a,
no, because Google Earth, that picture from
2025.
Google Earth was dated 11/2/24,
which lot? Lot 15?
lot 15.
Okay, yeah,
There's-
that would have been previous, yeah.
There's been a couple houses built based on phase 1 and 2 of the plan. That was
All the
previous-
houses built in the area that you're talking about would have been on approved.
I'm only talking about one house that I looked at and saw,
Yeah.
okay? I
Okay.
looked at the plan,
So it'd be that one, and then
I
there's one that's
looked at,
being built
looked
in.
at Google Earth. Google Earth date on that, on the map on Google Earth is dated 11/2/24, okay? I noticed one house, and based on his presentation of the plans, it's lot 15.
But what's the concern?
Well, my concern is, we're asking for approval, but everything's fluid here, okay? And my concern is, if hopefully all the services that are being incurred by the township is being back billed to you, okay? There's a lot of other costs going into this, and I wanna make sure we just don't keep this thing just spinning all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Burning
And
money,
I think
okay?
what we're trying to do here is get this thing finally cleaned up once and for all. Everything that was done was in approval, the phase 1 and phase 2 approved lots. So those were approved to build on. We did build a couple in there. What he's showing tonight is everything that was outside of that approved phase 1 and phase 2 area. So we only built on approved phases. We're trying to clean up what was not in there. So we're not, yeah, at some point, I guess, I don't know, like if you have an approved plan to build, I don't know that you annually would update these plans.
Well, I guess, let's talk about the general purpose of what you're asking for here. Russell, can you explain what's being asked of us?
So, my understanding is that, so there's the north side of this and the south side of this, and I think the ideal is to create lot lines for the individual lots primarily because the applicant because of the structure of this project, the lot or the land is leased from the owner. And so wanted to have, clear demarcations of what the boundaries are to avoid, conflicts between the neighbors. And I think that you layer on that there's been a phase 1 and a phase 2 that's been approved. And, one of my concerns was, at one point it was a certain number of lots, and then it's another number of lots, and making sure that we're not, creating one big confusion here. So I share, your concern, is that I can't sit here and tell you, which lot is which, and that was a concern that was discussed at the planning commission, but I think that ultimately the planning commission felt that that at least for the limited purpose that it was being presented, that it was appropriate.
I'm not saying I want to deny it, that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
This has just been going on for years, okay? And it seems like we just continue to create all these little rabbit holes all over the place. And there's all these exceptions.
I think the phases are confusing.
Okay,
I do not think this should have been done that way. I think the phases are confusing, and I think it's confusing everyone, because he has come back here with, and I've said to you before, you come through zoning with a different solicitor than a different engineer, and you've asked for multiple things across the board when we've approved a conditional use based on an over 55 community. I think the phases are confusing. I do, however, agree that this map clears up a lot of zoning issues.
Okay.
And I like this plan a lot because it's gonna show me that I can use, hey, that north side, this is all that was allowed, this is what we talked about planning, this is what, so when we get to phase 3 and 4, I think it cleans up the site.
okay.
That being said, the phases, when they come back for 3 and 4, I think we need to dive in and make sure we're staying on track with the conditional use.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the plans being submitted are the lot lines that were overlaid on the property, which I know you own the whole property, okay? But based on the owner owning the house and releasing the thing, the neighbors always want to fight with each other about whose grass or clippings or leaves are going back and forth, right?
Well, I said that, I
You know.
shouldn't have said, there was actually really not much of that going on, but where the need came out of it was the HOA attorney saying, Ivan, you need to have clear definition of all these properties to create the HOA
Okay,
map. And he said, I can't create the HOA map if you don't have clear lot lines. And so that's
so
why.
the planning commission asked for pins to be put in at least somewhere so
front.
there's a reference point, right?
Right.
Correct,
Okay, so that's going to be taken care of.
correct,
And that's going to require surveying on your part.
correct.
Okay, so the lines you laid on the map were just laid on the map set to the computer screen, but not actually going out and surveyed the property.
We surveyed where we were making adjustments to the lot lines based on, we took the previous lot layouts that were done for the property and we incorporated them in here, and then we made adjustments to some of them, and where we made adjustments to some of them,
Okay,
we went and located the existing features to make sure that there was no.
okay, so what I'm saying is before we approve this, nobody has a lot line running down through their
Their
porch
house.
or their side of their house or
Correct.
any of that kind of
Right.
issues that-
Cohen had created a survey point, when they didn't survey it. So Cohen had created I don't know what you call it, but Cohen had created an official plan. A lot of those lots were too small, so if anything, we increased them.
Okay,
We did not make any smaller. Everything is as Cohen had it. If we're forced to, because there's a house on either side, wherever there's space, we made them bigger.
okay.
Every lot that had space on the left or the right did get brought up to the 6,000 square foot minimum size.
Okay.
And you have to also remember, this is conditional approval, because there are still some outstanding issues like the HOA agreement.
And the subject deed needs to be recorded with the conditions listed in that
Correct.
conditional use. There's a few items that we, it's clarified in the email we sent earlier today, regarding the pins that need to be set, the different conditions that from
Right.
Great Valley.
I'm not against this, I just don't
I
want
gotcha.
this thing just keep churning and
I hear you.
rabbit holes, and that's what has
And
been
again,
the issue here, okay?
I feel that, as Ryan said, this is gonna clarify all the existing lots for all the existing structures out
Okay.
there. What probably should have been done when we did the previous plan, but for some reason it didn't come up in
Okay.
conversation.
This
So-
should have came through first,
Right,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
but it was sort of an existing nonconformity,
Yeah.
and there probably wasn't much in the way of teeth that they should have gotten, so.
sure.
Understandable.
At this point, to enact the HOA, it really is something that we needed to do, so
All
that's
right,
why
that's
we're
in
here.
this here, right?
Understand.
Just excuse me, okay,
Okay?
all right. Just give me a second, please. So what you're suggesting is, on this section here, that you need us to grant approval for all those items,
Those waivers.
those waivers?
Yes, I can give you a clean letter,
Okay,
or two. There's extra copies there. So it's all the same thing.
I'm gonna pass that around.
And these are the same that were discussed at the planning commission.
This
We
is the
just-
same thing as.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
okay.
As discussed at the planning commission, we just simply updated our formal request letter to specify the language that was described at the planning commission to make it easier for tonight.
So, Russell, are good on this, or you have concerns?
No, we're good.
You're good,
Yeah.
Ryan?
No.
This cleans up all your concerns and issues?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Craig?
I'm fine. In fact, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that those waivers requested by the applicant and recommended by the planning commission for granting those waivers. I'd like to make a motion that all of those waivers, as shown in the minutes of the planning commission, be approved.
Okay, and before I do that, I just want to read into the record what those are. Section 402-2, key map scale. Section 502.1, private streets to meet design standards. Section 602.3, curbs. Section 602.4, A, sidewalks. Section 602.9, which is lot corner pins to be placed on sidelines along road frontage only. I'd like to make a motion that we grant these waivers as requested here. Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay?
And then if the board would consider conditional plan approval, and we can move forward with addressing those conditions, and then we'll come back to you with plans for signatures once they have been taken care of.
Yes? Brian?
Yes.
Covers everything?
Yes. That's why we have the first part.
Okay.
The second part is fine.
I'll make that motion that we approve it conditionally, contingent upon all of the issues stated in the engineer Steve Hoffman's letter. That's in the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I guess one quick question, which Rob might notice. Do these not have to be signed before we can record them?
They do, but they're not gonna sign them until we meet the conditions of the conditional approval. So like the HOA and the new deed recording and stuff, that we have to,
Record what?
the new deed, the deed has to be recorded specifically listing the condition that no new houses can be built on the south side of the lake. Basically just copy the same verbiage that we have in the conditional use decision.
Please make sure I get a copy of the deed before it's recorded.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is Sewage Enforcement Officer Service. This is the first I'm seeing this. It's dated November 12th. Am I supposed to read this whole letter, or what
No,
is? This is
it's
the first
just
I'm
that-
seeing this here.
System Design Engineering also provided not only engineering, but also the SEO. For years, that, the person with that. So they're just, it doesn't have to be acted on tonight. You know, and that in fact, that would be taken care of at the organizational meeting.
So they're offering their current services for next year?
Right, that would be for next year.
Okay, so this can be decided at the
That
reorganization
would,
meeting?
right, that would be for a final decision at the organization meeting in January.
Okay. There's no action you've taken now on it?
It doesn't have to be, but you should keep that.
Okay, well, I will.
Okay. Now we have the
Okay.
equipment, the stuff for.
Right, yeah. So, also, that did not make the agenda is we need to update the computer, printer, and some software.
Mhm.
And the total equipment cost is $1,950. The software and yearly subscription fees adds another $415 per year for initial startup of the new PC. So with an approximate cost of $2,365. And we need a motion to proceed to purchase this equipment. Do I have a second?
Before you do that,
Yes.
because it's not on the agenda, you need to make a motion to amend the agenda so you can consider it tonight.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we amend the agenda to include the topic of purchasing a computer, printer, and the required software and subscriptions for 2026. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. So backing up here, we have a estimated cost of $2,365 to purchase this equipment. Do I have a second to proceed forward to purchase the equipment?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next on the agenda is the organizational meeting, reorganizational meeting on January 5th at 7 PM. What do we need to discuss there?
Well, the organization meeting is maybe make the appointments and all of the resolutions. You have to, follow the agenda that's, it's basically rather standard.
I think it's just here to let the public know,
Okay.
because it's not our, and then do you advertise, you have a meeting?
It will be.
Yeah.
We'll have an advertisement, that'll be and also then we'll advertise the organization meeting for the planning commission.
Correct, which is 20th or the 21st?
Yeah, 20.
20.
That's what I thought, so,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Okay.
So we don't, we're just letting everybody know, we need a motion to have a meeting?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
It's separate
All right.
statute.
That's-
Now, on another topic regarding this meeting, whatever was done in the past is done in the past, but I'm asking about going forward. Does it make sense to have the reorganization meeting on the 5th and then have the regular business meeting fall the second Wednesday of the month?
Typically, we don't. Typically, we treat that as the business meeting for the month, unless there's a reason that we need to meet again, but usually we don't meet twice in January.
Okay. Is that going to cover all the expenses and cover?
It has in the past.
Okay,
We never had any problems.
okay.
Now, last year we had a meeting because there were some resolutions that we wanted to take care of.
Yeah, there were some issues.
Right.
Last year that was probably the first time in the 15 years I've been
Right,
on this list
right.
that we've
We had two
second
January meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, most townships usually do it the same night.
Right.
Okay. Anything else on that topic? Okay, next is the expenditures, and as I already talked, you're going to correct that check.
I will, what are we gonna do anything about Ben in the truck?
I think we should go into executive session to talk about the big picture here. And I guess we'll have to come back out and.
Yeah, I think you need to go into executive session to address a personnel issue,
Mhm.
and then you can come back out and
Right.
conclude the meeting.
Okay. So
Do you wanna do the expenditures first, and then go to
Yes.
the executive session?
Sure. So we need to subtract $3,347.92 from the SDE invoice till we get that rectified.
Yeah, three,
$3,347.92.
all right, okay, that would be subtracted.
From what we're gonna pay this month to them.
Right. What we'd have to do is, void the check that's written out,
Right,
and then just issue
a new check. Okay. And the other concern that I have is, for the special planning commission meeting we had for Blue Heron,
Right.
we did not receive an invoice from Great Valley Consultants yet, because I did not see that on the invoice that you prepared for them. And, there's an outstanding amount that's due there that, we're signing these agreements and granting this stuff. Do we need to collect the money first?
What?
Can you make this Great Valley on that?
This was what was sent to me.
That's for the planning commission members' pay,
Right.
but there's nothing in here about Great Valley. That Great Valley's back in October.
Well, whenever they come in, they're
Okay.
listed here.
So this was also sent to them.
Yeah,
There's something, 11/20,
right.
so what's due on 11/7?
Okay, now, this is not the, I didn't update them yet, but we got a check, the township got a check for that amount,
We did,
yes. we got
okay.
it.
But there's still $6,529 outstanding.
There's a balance due yet, yes.
Okay,
But the greater majority of it was paid.
well, but it's still, the balance is this.
Yeah, but this.
You're doing this backward, okay, all right.
Okay?
I got it, thank you.
And you're not releasing any plans to Blue Heron tonight, you're not gonna release them until they're paid in full.
Okay. All right. So I'd like to make a motion, we pay the bills as just described. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We'll be back in a few minutes, folks.